Hello mamas, I'm Crystal. Welcome to my channel. I am currently over 17 weeks pregnant with my rainbow baby, and today I'm going to be talking to you about morning sickness and how I managed it for 10 weeks. So today I'll be sharing with you some really helpful tips that I wish I knew before I started getting morning sickness. And I'll also be going over common nausea triggers and what I did to combat those with supplements. And be sure to stick around for my top 3 tips that no mama or mama-to-be should go without. As a disclaimer, I am not a doctor or a midwife, so before you try any of these tips, or if you think about trying any of these tips, just be sure to talk to your doctor or your midwife and get their approval before you try anything. So some of my common nausea triggers included indigestion, sleeping, eating, drinking, and smells. I'll dive a little bit deeper into each trigger and how I found relief. One of my first morning sickness symptoms was indigestion. I constantly felt full. My stomach it felt like it was never digesting food, and that led to a constant nauseous feeling in my throat. After dealing with this for a few weeks, my sister, who's already had 2 babies, she actually recommended that I take papaya enzymes, and those are to help you digest proteins and carbs. So I bought some of those, and I can link them in the description below. And those seem to help me like a ton. These are the papaya enzymes that I was using for a while. They're by a brand called American Health. They do have 1 gram of sugar for 3 tablets. I was taking about 6 tablets before a meal and sometimes even 6 tablets after a meal. You can't really take too many. After taking them for a while, I was looking for another brand because they are a little bit sweet, and I was really sensitive to sweet foods at the time. So I looked on Amazon and I found a few other brands that had no sugars or way less sugar in them. And some of the other ones that I found, they also help digest just all different types of nutrients. So I kind of wish I would have done a little bit more research, but at the time I was just so desperate to feel better, I just bought the item right away so it would get to me in 2 days. So another thing I can't forget that really helped me with indigestion, I kind of just came by this by chance. So basically I started leaning on my left side whenever I was feeling like really just not good in my stomach. I was feeling nauseous. I felt like I constantly had to burp, but I just couldn't burp. So when I leaned to my left side, it would help me burp, and then the nauseous feeling would kind of clear from my throat. Another thing that really helped was carbonated beverages. I'm not one to drink soda during my pregnancy, or even anytime actually. So I just opted for some sparkling water. I got this one at Trader Joe's. It's an organic lemon and ginger sparkling water. It's really good. And that helped me a lot too. So yes, it's kind of embarrassing. I was burping a lot, and that's finally like stopped for the most part. So the sparkling waters that really helped me out were the Trader Joe's lemon ginger water, and then I also started drinking some of the bubblies. This one's the peach one. But it was honestly something that like really helped me find relief, so I just let my husband know, hey, I'm gonna be burping and I hope you don't mind. Another thing that I noticed triggered morning sickness was when I would wake up early. I kind of noticed when I wake up early with my husband on the weekdays like I usually do, we wake up around 5 a.m. or a little bit earlier. On the weekends, I noticed when I woke up a little bit later, I felt much better. So just try to get as much sleep as you can, especially because once baby comes, you're gonna be losing sleep anyway. So just, you know, sleep in as much as you can. I'm very grateful because I don't have to work, so I feel very blessed for that. I don't even know how I would be able to hold a job for those 10 weeks that I was feeling the way I was. So if you can sleep, get your sleep. So this next tip, actually, it took me a while to learn this or realize how impactful it was for managing my nausea. It is to eat immediately when you wake up. So don't wait even 20 minutes, or even don't get up. Like, have something by your bedside ready to eat the moment you wake up, or even if you wake up in the middle of the night and you feel hungry, don't feel bad, just eat it. It's gonna make you feel better. Over time, I realized that I had to build up my meals throughout the day. So a few things that helped me was to start with crackers. You can do something like saltines. For me, I'm gluten-free, so I did the almond flour crackers. You can get these at Costco for a really good price. And doing that seemed to help me so much. So the next meal I would have would be a smoothie. And you want to be eating like every 2 hours at the most. After the crackers and the banana, I started my day with a smoothie. So for the longest time, I couldn't even eat a vegetable or any type of protein to save my life. So the smoothies really helped me out. I ended up adding collagen peptides in them to get my protein in, and eventually I was able to sneak in some spinach, and I tried to make these consist of mainly berries for antioxidants, and sometimes I would do mango, peach, or banana. Once I was able to kind of expand my palate a little bit more, I ended up buying protein bars because a friend of mine told me that you need to get in protein like every 2 hours. If you don't, you're just gonna feel sick. So protein was the last thing I wanted. But I found that the Costco Kirkland protein bars really helped me. They were easy to eat and I could eat them slowly. They were high in protein and it really helped to subside my nausea. Another great food that helped me out too was toast. Seeing how I was trying to get more protein in, eating the sprouted toast was really helpful because it has about 5 grams of protein per slice. And it was something that was bland enough in flavor to where it tasted good. Another thing that surprisingly helped my nausea was ginger chews. These ginger chews right here by the Ginger People. When I took these ginger chews with another supplement that I'm going to be mentioning at the end of this video, it paired so well. Another trigger to my nausea was drinking. I had to give up coffee, which I never thought that was going to happen. I just didn't really have the want to drink it for a little while, and I knew it was just probably because it was too acidic for my stomach. The same thing goes for orange juice. I drank orange juice one morning on an empty stomach, thinking that the sugars would be good for me and I could just get in some quick calories, and immediately I threw up. After doing a little bit of Googling, I found out that orange juice is way too acidic to be drinking on an empty stomach if you're feeling nauseous. At times, even water was hard to drink, so I would sometimes add in a ginger peach tea bag to my water. I got this ginger peach tea from the Republic of Tea company, and it's a really subtle, mild flavor. I would just drop a tea bag of this into some room temp water. One of the last triggers to my nausea was smells. So I couldn't stand the smell of cooking, and I love to cook, so this was like a hard one for me. And I'm always the one cooking in our house, so I'm sure it was hard for my husband too. And he started doing his own cooking, and he would make his own lunch. He also even helped out with the dishes sometimes when I just couldn't stand the smell of the sink, the fridge, the food, anything. He was a really good sport about it, and he did not complain, so that was really nice. So those were my top nausea triggers, but now I have 3 bonus tips for you guys. These are the 3 tips that I feel like no mama or mama-to-be should go through her first trimester without knowing. My number 1 tip is to carry a bag around with you. I actually bought a roll of bags at the dollar store. They're like mini bathroom garbage can bags. They look like this, and they do hold a lot of liquid and a lot of food, surprisingly. They don't tear. I was a little bit worried about that because there were some times when I threw up quite a bit. This is nice because I know for me, when I'm feeling nauseous, the last thing I want to do, even if I wasn't feeling nauseous, the last thing I want to do is go put my head over a toilet bowl. Like, that's just gross. So these were nice, they were convenient. I could take them with me if I had to go grocery shopping, or I could just carry it around the house with me, have one in my purse, whatever. It's just nice being able to throw up wherever you're most comfortable. For me, it was the couch. So my second tip is to drink water if you feel like you might throw up, because eventually you kind of can gauge when you're gonna throw up. Make sure you drink water, because I had one time where I made the mistake of throwing up on an empty stomach. I had a feeling I was gonna throw up. I hadn't eaten for quite a few hours. I hadn't really drank anything. And I threw up and it literally tasted like battery acid. It was the worst thing in the world. And I mean, I had thrown up eggs and vegetables, which I thought was like as bad as it could get, until I threw up on an empty stomach. Last but very not least, a tip is actually one from my midwife, and it helped me out so much. This tip is to take vitamin B6, 25 milligrams, 3 to 4 times a day. So I started doing this, and within like 5 or 6 days, I started feeling so much better. It wasn't completely gone, but it was like definitely made everything a lot more mild. At one point near my 12-week mark, I thought I was feeling better. I thought I was like in the clear, so I stopped taking the vitamin B6, and within a few days I started feeling nauseous again. And I talked to my midwife. She said start taking it regularly again. It took about 5 days to start feeling better, and I just took that all the way up to about 15 weeks. And I know it's really common to start feeling better around the 14 to 16 week mark, so if you are going to be taking vitamin B6, if it was me, I would definitely have taken it up until about 15 or 16 weeks just to be safe, because you really don't want to revert back to feeling the way you were feeling once you start feeling a little bit better. So I hope all these tips helped you. If there's any questions you have about anything that I talked about, you can leave a comment below, or if you know of anything that I didn't mention that has helped you or a friend, you can also leave that in the comments below, and I'll make sure I get back to you. Be sure to keep an eye out for my next video, because I'll be talking about what I'm doing to prepare for my natural home birth.